Hello guys, and welcome back to another video here on my YouTube channel. Now today's video, it is a match preview and we are going to be talking about Luton Town versus Sunderland, the second leg. Luton are now at home and what could potentially happen in this game. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts on this big match that's going to be happening tomorrow. But before I do, can we please drop a like on today's video? The more likes I get, the better the video does. And also comment down below on what you think is going to happen on Tuesday night at the Kenny. So, Luton versus Sunderland. We have to talk about what happened at the Stadium of Light. And let's just say we just didn't show up, did we? Whether or not it was the pressure that got to us or, you know, the lack of quality on the day, we just didn't do what we've done so well throughout the whole season. Unfortunately, our unbeaten run has come to an end, but in the playoffs, unbeaten runs don't matter too much. Now, Sunderland were the team I wanted to avoid, and for the exact reason on what we're in now. Sunderland, for me, have got one of the best, well, they are one of the best in the league at being a counter-attacking side and being really good in the transition, and they proved it on Saturday. You know, every time we lost the ball, Sunderland went forward, they looked like they were going to score every single time. Now, if they had a striker, I would have said things would have been a lot different. It could have been 3, it could have been 4. The biggest mistake Sunderland made on Saturday night was not scoring more goals. That was their biggest mistake. We were pretty much there for the taking, and in our favour, they didn't, you know, score more than the 2 goals which they did. Now, with us, we just didn't perform, did we? We just simply didn't turn up. For 25 minutes in the game, I felt we turned up. But apart from that, we didn't. In that 25 minutes, we scored the goal. But then what happened after we scored? We just became sloppy. We just, you know, we just invited unneeded pressure. And what happened was, we were just sloppy in possession, and that's what it was. We were giving the ball away far too often, and we were then giving Sunderland a bit of hope. Now, when you give a side a bit of hope, especially at their own stadium, with 40,000 Sunderland fans going, you know, crazy, what's going to happen? They're gonna, you know, up the gears. And if you don't up the gears the same way they've just upped the gears, then you're going to see the consequences. And that's exactly what happened. Their first goal should have never have happened. Their first goal only happened because we were sloppy in possession and we gave a foul away, which we didn't really need to make. And that's what happened. And then from the free kick, it was a fantastic strike. Could even do better in goal? No, in my opinion. It was a very good strike at goal. Could we have closed down Diallo a lot better? Yes, we could have done. But my problem is the free kick. It should have never have happened anyway. We should have never have been sloppy in possession in dangerous positions on the pitch. And don't be giving away unneeded, you know, fouls. And that's exactly what we did. Going into half-time, you 1-1. You're still in the game. You expect, okay, look, first period of the half was us. Second period of the half was them. But then, what happened in the second half? We just didn't bother showing up. The midfield were completely nowhere. Strikers not getting involved. It was like playing with flipping 5 players on the pitch at times in the second half. And then what happened? Obviously, with Sunderland getting that goal, which, you know, gave them a massive boost, they upped the gear again in the second half, and that's when they got the second goal. The second goal was very poor. Osho lost his man, lost the header, and yeah, they scored the second goal. I think from the corner, we didn't even touch the ball. They passed the ball about for, I think, you know, for 6 or 7 passes. We never got near them. They put the ball into the box and they scored exactly from that. And then, normally when you're losing in a game, you want to see a reaction. We just didn't look like we were ever going to score. That game could have gone on for another 2 to 3 hours and we still wouldn't have scored, in my opinion. And that's what really worries me. It really does worry me. And Sunderland dealt with us extremely well. Their defence, despite not having a centre-half, like I said before the game started, I said in my last match preview, missing big players is a myth. It really is a myth, because if you've got the right personnel, you've got the right team spirit there, it doesn't matter who you play in a position. You can play fullbacks as centre-halves, centre-mids as centre-halves. You know, if you've got the motivation, you've got the right, you know, chemistry there, you know, you can still perform. And we've done it throughout the season, playing fullbacks or centre-halves, and we've still managed to get wins. So, for me, injuries are a myth, but despite not having recognised centre-halves for Sunderland, you know, having their strongest team, we still weren't able to break them down. And that does concern me massively. Now, obviously the advantage of going into this second leg is, yes, Luton are at home, which is great. This is our opportunity to take Sunderland and just go, you know, 100 miles an hour at them and try and get the goals. Unfortunately now, we are now playing to Sunderland's advantage. Sunderland are going to love the fact that we have to attack them, which will then leave space in behind, which will then their, you know, quick, you know, advanced attackers can exploit. They did exactly that at Sunderland on a big pitch, and they can easily do the same again on a small narrow pitch like ours. It's going to happen quite frequently, and we need to make sure that we don't get caught on the counter-attack. But my concern is we are going to get caught on the counter-attack. If we want to win the game, yes, we do need to score a goal. However, if we want to win the overall tie, we have to win by a 2-goal lead. The only way we're going to do that is by pushing forward. But yet, we still need to push forward, but also be at the back, still be very tight. I still wouldn't recommend playing Sonny Bradley in this game. We're going to get ripped apart if he's being a centre-half, in my opinion. That's just because he just doesn't have the legs for it. Should we play Alan Campbell? Potentially, because he is a much better player suited at home on a small pitch where he can do the high press. We're going to have to be high press. We're going to have to score early, and we're going to have to pile the pressure on. I'm just more concerned that while we pile the pressure on, Sunderland will exploit. And I've already mentioned in the video, they are one of the best teams in the league at counter-attacks and being on the transition. And that's what concerns me. I wanted to avoid them because of that reason. I wanted to play Middlesbrough, I wanted Coventry, I wanted the best, but unfortunately we don't have that. We've got a team that works really well together, and I can see them winning. I can really do see them winning. Yeah, I know I'm being negative, but I've been in this situation. I think this is the 6th time now I've seen Luton in a playoffs in my lifetime, and I just know what we're like. Big high pressure moments, you know, we do struggle, we have struggled in the past, but we can win this tie because we're only losing by 1 goal. But we have to put in 11 out of 10 performance. We have to put in a similar, you know, like the performance like we did against Watford. We have to see that. Anything less than that, you're just hoping that Sunderland don't turn up. Because if we perform less than that, and Sunderland also turn up, for me, they're going to go to Wembley. But if we turn up and we perform like that against Watford, then I have a feeling we can, you know, overcome the, you know, that 2 goal. Well, we can get the 2 goals to win the leg and end up going to Wembley. We can just score 1 and grind out the result and obviously take it to penalties, but no one really wants penalties. Let's be honest. It's such a nerve-wracking situation to be in. I'm just really concerned, is what I'm trying to say, because we've struggled to score more than 1 goal in a match throughout the season. That's why we are very good at the 1-0 wins. It does concern me a little bit, but players need to be on it. Players have to turn up. Players need to do better in possession. We need to be defending a lot better than what we did. If we do everything opposite than what we did on Saturday, then I can see something positive happening. If we repeat the Saturday performance, which is something that goes in our favour actually, because we don't often repeat bad performances, so this could go slightly in our favour. But my issue is, has the damage already been done? Have we paid the price for not turning up on Saturday? That's my biggest question. What team would I play? I would play a very similar team that played against Sunderland in the first leg. I would play a very similar team. We may switch it out for Campbell in. I don't know who would be the player, but for me, you kind of need Clark for the creativity. Pelly, he has the energy, he can still do the pressing. Nakamba, he wasn't really on it against Sunderland, but hopefully he'd be a little bit better this time round. Defensively, we need to just make sure that we don't get caught on the break. And then, you know, our strikers need to be much more involved. Apart from scoring the goal, Elijah did nothing. He didn't hold the ball up. He was very poor actually, Elijah, and I got quite frustrated. We're quite lucky that we didn't have a striker on the bench, because he definitely would have been swapped if we had the likes of Woodrow. 100% he would have been taken off. So, look, it's a lot of pressure on Tuesday night. The fans need to get behind the boys, you know. I wish I was going to the game, but unfortunately I'm not. I've got to be on a plane and watch it on a plane, which is fantastic. But we're going to have to get behind the boys as much as possible. I know I'm a bit negative in this video, but I just don't want to get my hopes up yet. But we got to turn up. We've got to turn up, and we've got to turn up by a few gears. We have to be on it from minute one. If we are, then I back us to win. If we're not, then we could potentially see a repeat of Blackpool, or against Huddersfield. We're going to see previous of what we've been like in the playoffs over the recent years. But yeah, fingers crossed. Look, we can do it, but I'm not 100% confident. But that's just me. You guys who are watching this video, you could be 100% confident. Go ahead. But for me, I'm just a little bit reserved, because I've seen this too often in my lifetime, and I'm just a little bit concerned on what Sunderland have to offer. But yeah, those are my thoughts, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below, and yeah, I'll see you in my match reaction after the game against Sunderland. Hopefully we can do the job and yeah, get to Wembley. Come on, you Atters.